we first met Larry and Gary Lane when they came to Shreveport promoting their film Hollywood to Dollywood in 2011. We're going to talk with them again here on shOUT about what life is like now after the release of their film, and also about the exciting news about the theatrical release of Hollywood to Dollywood. They've won a lot of awards for this fantastic film. So join us this week on shOUT. This episode of shOUT is presented by Pace and sponsored by the 2012 4th Annual North Louisiana Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, taking place September 7th through the 13th at the Robinson Film Center in Shreveport, Louisiana. This year's special guest is Margaret Cho, who will be performing a live stand-up act at the Municipal Auditorium Saturday, September 8th. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, go to nlglff.org for more details. Gary, Larry, thank you so much for joining us today on shOUT. We wanted to kind of catch up with y'all and see what is going on and what's happened. And before we start talking about the theatrical release of the movie, kind of let's catch everybody up to, y'all grew up in North Carolina.
Yes.
And what was that like, moving from North Carolina to Los Angeles?
Well, we actually moved up to New York first, so we were able to move together, which was amazing. You have someone there with you kind of going through it. We were in New York for 2 years, and then we've been out here in LA for 10. So it actually helps that we've got each other as a support system for sure.
Now, y'all recently went back home for just like, what, a few weeks ago? Were y'all back home in North Carolina?
Actually, we were home, we were home in June, and now we're going to go this weekend, tomorrow. We fly to this big twins festival they have in Twinsburg, Ohio. There's like 3,000 to 5,000 sets of twins. So we're going to be there this weekend, and then Monday we're going to go home to North Carolina for a week visit.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. You know, you talk about your mom in the movie, and you talk about the fact that this has just really been a big struggle for her. Has that changed now since the film has come out and you've gotten so much exposure?
Not really. Our mom still has the same belief system, so it's always going to be there in our lives, and we know that. Our dad has, since we talked to you guys last, our dad has watched the documentary, so he doesn't have the really religious, same beliefs like our mom does, so our dad really, really liked it. And he even reached out to my partner, Mike, on Facebook and said, thank you for being in his life, and I hope I get to meet you one day. So I never thought that I would have, one of my parents to do that. So that has been amazing, and it truly has touched people everywhere.
That is incredible. That really, I guess, gave you, certainly has given us, listening to it, the idea that you can make progress, things can move forward, and now it's just possibly a matter of time before Mom gets, brought into the fold, so to speak.
That's right, and we did have to call and forbid them to go to Chick-fil-A yesterday, or we would not come home.
We're going to talk about Chick-fil-A, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, growing up in North Carolina and with the parents that you have, do you still embrace that value system that you grew up with religiously?
Yes, absolutely. We have a strong faith. We know that there's someone higher power than us, and we've had so many blessings in our life. Like, we say our prayers every night. We give thanks for everything that we've got. So we have held to our true faith and our true belief. We do not believe that God put us here to burn us in hell, because we knew at an early age how we felt. We might not have embraced it because we lived in the South, but we knew how we felt from a very early age.
It sounds like the two of you have moved from a more of a religious approach to things to a more spiritual approach. Would you say that's fair?
Yes, and it's kind of funny because that's how Dolly is. Dolly says I'm a very spiritual person,
Yeah.
but she never really goes deep into her, her faith. But she's very spiritual, and so I feel like we're kind of along the same lines as her with that.
Right. Now, fast forwarding up to your move to Los Angeles, y'all participated in Fear Factor.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Pardon?
Yes, that was hell.
It was hell. And you won. And so basically you used the prize money from Fear Factor to, I guess what you might call, bankroll the Hollywood to Dollywood project, right?
Well, it's funny because we won Fear Factor like 10 years ago when we first moved to LA. We just won Wipeout last year, the obstacle course. That's what bankrolled Hollywood to Dollywood.
I'm going to have to make sure that we play some footage of the Wipeout for this. That looks difficult.
I'm still having back spasms, and I did it a year ago.
So it's not for the faint of heart to participate in, right?
No, but we needed the money. We always laugh and tell people when we were on that course, when Larry would go up in the air and get hit by something, I'd say, that was for Jolene. And like out, we were using it to pay for another song.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So kind of give me an idea of where Hollywood Dollywood started, the concept of that. Obviously, you must have been talking about or thinking about doing that long before Wipeout, huh?
Well, we actually wrote the script over about 5 years. We were writing the script, and then when we finished the script, we actually mailed it to Dolly and her people, and they sent it back to us unsolicited. So then we got the idea, well, she's going to be at the opening of the park. Why don't we just drive there and give it to her in person? So that's our game. There's a specific part we wrote for Dolly in Full Circle, the script that we hand her in the movie. So it kind of turned into, we've been to Dollywood before. We know she's there on the opening weekend. So we knew if we did this cross country for the 25th anniversary, she would be there, and we were going to try to give it to her.
Right, right. I tell you, you really did a beautiful job on the film because, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I felt like I was taking the journey with them. I was right there. I was inside that motorhome moving across the country. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome that y'all were able to do that. Any unusual stories about the trip that didn't make it into the film that you want to share?
We just had a lot of our fight scenes we had to edit down a little bit because we got a little bit more heated than we wanted to show. So what we did is, now that the DVD's out, we decided to put more of those extended interviews in there. We've got more interviews in there with Leslie and Beth. We extended all that to put some fun things in there that did get cut out. But yeah, a lot of our fight scenes got a lot more in depth than we wanted to show on the screen. So they're in the deleted scenes.
So that's in the bonus material.
Yeah, that's the bonus. And then I also want to thank John Lavin, because he literally took 45 hours of footage and cut that 79-minute movie together. So his directing and editing was amazing.
That's important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And you guys were actually Shreveport. Y'all were the second stop when we started a year ago on the circuit, on the film festival circuit. And since then we went to Australia, Canada, Scotland. I mean, we've been all over the world with the movie. And we won 25 Best Documentary Awards, which is just unheard of.
Well, I was going to tell you, people are still talking about that film festival when y'all came, and it was such a big hit. People really enjoyed the film. They enjoyed meeting you. It was really nice having what we felt like some good old Southern boys back home showing their work off, and you just did an excellent job. You said 25 total awards.
25 total, and like Beth Grant and Chad Allen, Leslie, the people that know the festival circuit, they're like, movies just don't win that many awards. You know that you had an impact on.
Well, you had some good talent on there too. Leslie Jordan was the first celebrity guest that we had at the film festival, and I had to spend the day with him traveling around the city, taking him places, and I'll never be the same.
There's no filter on him and his stories. I wanted to, though, I know we were the first film at that since they started Without a Box last year. We were the first submission that came in.
Right.
But when we saw you last, you were mending, and I'm glad you're doing better because we went and visited you at the hospital before we left. You look great.
Listen, that was such a highlight for me. Of course, seeing people in uniform, and then y'all came and visited, and that was awesome. I really appreciated that very much. Y'all have some big news.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Okay, we are going to have a theatrical release of the film in New York and LA, and that's actually good because the deadline for award consideration is September 15th, so we're going to play August 31st through September 13th, so we get in there right under the deadline.
Wow, awesome, awesome. That is pretty sweet to see something that you've done go from film festival circuit now to a theatrical release. That is pretty. Now there's a DVD out, right?
And actually, all the theatrical release information, the DVD information, everything is on HollywoodToDollywood.com. And our friends that know us are kind of joking. They're like, "You guys are going to ride Jolene until the wheels fall off."
Not a problem.
Not going anywhere.
Do you have any other new projects that are that you're thinking about getting started? You want to tell us about?
One more thing with that ties in with Dolly later this year. Dolly has a new book coming out called Dream More in November, and we can write this if we wanted to. And it's all about her following her dreams and telling her fans how to follow their dreams. So because we're a perfect segue, we pitched into her management team to possibly release Hollywood to Dollywood, the soundtrack, and offer that as a gift with every book. So we've got a deal we're trying to work. And we're going to be in Advocate magazine. We're going to be in DNA magazine. We got a lot of media coming out about the theatrical release.
Oh, that's awesome. You mean this is an exclusive?
You got an exclusive, the first one.
All right, that's going to put shOUT on the map.
Ever since Oprah started Skyping her guests, she has opened the door for everyone.
Please. So when the dust settles on Hollywood to Dollywood, you obviously are going to try to start something else.
Yes, we actually, if you saw us on when Rosie O'Donnell had us on the show,
yes.
She threw us into this segment where she goes, "What's your next documentary?" And it was really off the cuff, and I said, our next documentary is going to be about gay identical twins, because we know so many twins that are. So we actually have already started the interviews, and that is going to, after we get this calmed down a little, that's our next project. And we've already got interviews, and we've got it rolling. We're going to the Twins Festival, so maybe we'll find some more gay ones out of 10,000 sets that we can interview.
Statistically, you should be there, you know? You should find them. Listen, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and this is such big news. I'm glad that we could be a part of your announcing the theatrical release of the film. We've kind of adopted y'all as the boys from Shreveport, so we're really proud of you.
Well, congratulations on your show, and thank you so much. Tell everyone at the film festival we said hello, and we miss you guys, and I hope we come around next year with a new film.
We will do that, and hopefully I'll see you in Los Angeles sometime soon. Thank you, and y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
A very special thank you to Gary and Larry Lane for visiting with us today. They have such a great connection with Shreveport, and we wish them a lot of luck in the continued success of Hollywood to Dollywood. Thank you for tuning in to this particular episode of shOUT, and we hope that you have a great week.